Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me on this extra special. I'd like to say extra special, but I guess it's the first live stream I'll have done on Twitch on my own under a new monarch. That's a very thin kind of justification for saying it's extra special edition, but you know, whatever. Thank you for joining me. Today's game will be Sub Terra, which is a very cleverly titled game because not only does it refer directly to what the game's about, which is about exploring deep, dark caves under the ground, that's what it means in Latin, Sub Terra, underground, but also it's a very spooky kind of horror-themed game. So obviously Terra means earth, sounds like terror, which means scary stuff. So, you know, it's great. It's a great play on words. It's a good title, and it's actually a good game. And as you can possibly tell from the art, it's a very well produced game. I'll show it to you in a moment as we transition over to Tabletopia, which again, my medium of choice for live streaming board games. Easier than actually setting up a camera and looking at a physical copy of a board game. You can see a lot more detail on it. It's also a game that I'm privileged enough to have been involved in playtesting. So I went to the company, I think, who produce it are called Out of the Box. They designed it and a bunch of other games, obviously, but they've also designed the sequel, Sub Terra 2. And for Sub Terra 1, it was backed on Kickstarter, but whilst they were still at the playtesting stage, they were inviting people to come to their studio in London, I think, North London, and you could go and play games. And one of the games they had was Sub Terra. And so I went and played it for an evening, and it was loads of fun. And I think they told me this. I gave them my name, and they said, "Oh, your name will be on the box as one of the thank you for helping playtest this game." I don't think my name's actually there. But they've released a few. I think it's on it's not the first edition anymore. We're beyond that point, so it's got some new rules. Certainly, it changed a little bit since I played it, and I think it's probably better. I think it's better than it was when I played it all those years ago. I don't remember how long ago it was now. Just Alex sings. He's in the chat. Here he is, he says. Here he is. Standard greeting. Thank you, Alex. Thanks for joining. Go Now Us Goes in the chat. Nice. God save the king. Indeed. That's what we say. Who else is in the chat? Who else is around, if there is anyone else? Thank you both for joining me. Thank you so much. Hopefully I won't bore you stiff with this. I mean, depends how stiff you want to be. Right. But it's not that kind of channel. It's not that kind of live stream. This is gaming. This is board gaming. So let's go. Let's have a look at this game, Sub Terra. Let's see what it's all about. Woo! There it is. Gorgeous, gorgeous game. And you can see there is Sub Terra. And this is one of the nice things about Tabletopia is that you can designers, if they want, when they make the digital versions of their games, some of them customize it really nicely, and this one's a really pretty simple but very pretty. You got this texture of kind of rocky cave background, and then obviously the title graphic, and this is the board, this single solitary tile, because this is something of a dungeon explorer type game. It's one of those tile placement games where you have a stack of tiles called cave tiles, and you pick a tile, and then you reveal it, and then you put it on the map, and you have to connect the tiles up, and that's the core kind of gameplay element. So it's a bit of it's a dungeon explorer essentially, but it's one of those tile placement map revealing games. And I'm a big fan of that genre. Other famous games in that genre would be Betrayal at House on the Hill, another horror game. I'm now struggling to think of any others, but they exist, I promise. It's definitely a type of gameplay, a format of gameplay that lends itself very well to horror. I think because, you know, fear of the unknown is a thing. So excuse me while I just plug some stuff in, otherwise I'm going to run out of power partway through this. Okay, so there's the board so far. And even in the solo version of the game, we have 4 characters. These are all cavers, people who explore caves. We've got the leader, we've got the medic, we've got the bodyguard, and we've got scout. Very trendy dressed person. As you can see, they all have health, as marked by these little tokens with health crosses on, which it's interesting how the cross has become the universal symbol for health, particularly in board games, but I think in general. But I guess it comes from the Red Cross, right? Because hospitals, ambulances have crosses, don't they, in general? But the sign of the medical profession is the pole with the snakes on it, you know, to represent. Who is it? The Greek. Is it Hippocrates? You know, they take the Hippocratic Oath. Is that the symbol of Hippocrates or something? I can't remember. Go Now Go says, good names. Yes, they're excellent names, aren't they? Who needs real names when you can just be called, your name could be your function. But they all have health, as you can see. Most of them, all but one of them, have 3 health. This fella, the bodyguard, has 5 health, because he's a tough one. And they each have special abilities. The bodyguard is a protective kind of guy, as his name would suggest. He can stop other people taking damage. The scout is very stealthy, and they can make faster progress than other players. The medic, obviously, can heal people. Healing is a basic action you can take in this game, but the medic can do it better than everyone else. And the leader is just kind of a helpful person all around. They can give another action to other people. And that's important because in this game, you each have 2 actions. You have 2 actions, and there are a set of basic actions, and each one costs a certain amount of actions. So here are the basic actions. It's one of those helpful games with these reference cards that are really handy. And for one action, you reveal a tile. For one action, you move along the tiles. For one action, you can reveal and move in the same go, so that saves you an action. If you use both your actions, you can move 3 tiles, that counts as running. Or you can use both your actions to heal yourself or another character, in my case, because I'm playing on the solo mode. Another character on the same tile as you. The medic can heal for 1 action and can sprint for just 1 action as well. So they're faster and they can heal. The game is played in 3 phases, I believe. No, where's that? No, let's find the reference card with the actual useful. There we go. Action phase, when the characters do their actions, and they each have 2 actions. The horror phase, where if there are horrors, which are kind of indistinct, undescribed, creepy creatures on the board, they will move towards you or they will spawn. And then the hazard phase, where you draw a card from this deck here, this deck of cards, and you draw a card each turn, and then it will make bad things happen, probably. And you can see it says normal underneath because it's on normal difficulty, because I'm not playing this on hard difficulty. It's been a while since I played this. And that's it. And the game goes on until you've got to the bottom of this deck of 25 cards. So there's a limit of 25 turns. But the game could end sooner, and hopefully it will. Because the object of the game is for me to get out of the cave. Here I am, stuck in the heart of the cave. Here we are, we all presumably got, like, the ground collapsed beneath us and we got sucked down and fell down into this cave. And we have to explore it and find our way out. And the way out is somewhere in this pile of cave tiles. So there you go. And that's it. It's as simple as that. So let's put all our meeples, our little people, onto the starting tile. There they are, little meeples. Woo. And then I get to choose which character I want to go first with. I mean, it feels sensible for the scout to be the person who goes first. So let's have the scout be the first character to act. So, first tile of the game being drawn. Apologies for the sound of the traffic outside. Just Alexing asks, is this game better solo or with other players? Well, Alex, as always, with all games, they're better with other people. Unless they are designed to be played solo, like Solitaire, in which case it's terrible to play that with other people. But I've never played this solo before, so this will be a new experience. I've played this 2 or 3 times. Yeah. Always with other people. One time, I think, so this has 4 characters, so I think the default mode is 4 people. I think I've played it with 5 people, and then the third game I played with it, I think there were 8 or 9 of us using the expansions, and that was just that was not great playing with that many people. It got a little bit chaotic and a little bit, because every single turn you're drawing a hazard card, right? So the more people you have, the more opportunities you have to get hurt by a danger before you take your turn, right? So when we had 8 players, that meant that there were 7 opportunities for something nasty to damage you and kill you before you got your turn to heal yourself. So it was a bit of a disaster. In fact, I think we lost that game when there were 8 of us. But playing with 4 people, I think, is all right. But yeah, we'll see how this is solo. I have a sneaking suspicion it'll be more satisfying strategically solo, because I'll be in control of everyone's actions, but actually much less fun because people will do their thing. And part of the fun is making bad decisions as a team, as you compromise. So let's flip this tile. It's, oh, wow, well, that fit together perfectly. Look at that. Look at that. They're supposed to fit together perfectly, so that was nice. So that's just a tile. The pathway continues around here. However, you can see this little symbol here means it's a collapsible tile. So there may be a cave in at some point, and this is one of the tiles that will have a cave in, and then we have problems. So that was reveal. I will use my second action to move into it. And then let's go with the bodyguard. I think the bodyguard should go next. He's going to move, and then he's going to reveal a tile. Let's find out what we got. We got another cave-in tile. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, this is going terribly well. Then let's explore this direction with... No, should I... I think sticking together is a good idea. So I think if we stay close, let's explore in this direction with the leader. Oh, that means it's a tight squeeze. You can see how tight this gets, and as much as having it a tight squeeze is fun, it's not good when you're trapped in a cave. So that means I have to... Basically, I'm stuck. Not quite, but this means you have to spend 2 actions, so both your actions, to get through this tile, which is not so good. That was the leader, wasn't it? Now, the leader has a special ability where they can give a free action, basically, to another character. So I might use that ability and give it to the... let's all stick together. Give it to the medic. So the medic can then move for 1 action, reveal a tile for another action. Oh, it's a crossroads. A nice, happy, healthy crossroads. That's great. And except it has to... So, tile placement rules. It has to go in a place where all the pathway connects up. So if I put it here, for example, you've got a sudden dead end there. That's not allowed. This is allowed. So the crossroads are going here, which is awkward. But then the medic can use my third action from the leader to go here. All right, then. Shoot, you know what I completely forgot to do? Let's draw a hazard. All that talk about hazards, and I forgot to draw them. Wait a second. No, I did it right. It's everyone takes their actions and then we do the hazards. Thank goodness. Skip the horror phase this turn because there are no horrors on the board. So, what's the first hazard? It's a flood! Oh no! That means any tile with this symbol on it suddenly becomes flooded. Luckily, none of the tiles I've drawn so far have the flood symbol on them, so that's great. There's a bag of tokens here. Sorry, there's a bag with no tokens in it here. Well, I mean, that's really useful, isn't it? I mean, it must be for an expansion or something. Who knows? Oh, is there anyone in the chat there? Anyone played this game before or heard of it before? It's been around for a few years, at least 5, possibly 6 or 7. And it's, like I say, it's got a sequel game, Sub Terra 2, and it's got a few expansions, so it's doing all right. Doing all right for itself. Let's have a look what we do now. So at the end of the turn, the first player rotates to the next character along. So now we're on to the leader. So the leader's here. I think the leader will explore and see if there's a tile. Oh, crap. That was accidental. Accidentally dragged the frame there rather than a tile. It's a corner. Actually, that works, because if I rotate it, then it goes against... Just Alexing says, never heard of it, the game, but admittedly I don't really stay up to date on the board game scene. The irony is, Alex, that as someone who likes board games, neither do I. I find them harder than video games to keep track of, because there are always board games coming out. Always board games coming out. And unlike video games, you can't easily show off what the game is like. You know, with a good trailer, you can easily show off what a video game is like, right? Whereas with a board game, they have trailers for them sometimes when they've got the marketing budget for it. But it's just really hard to demonstrate what a board game is like until you actually play it. Just Alex says, looks fun though. It is fun. I'd recommend it. You, Martin, and me should play it sometime if you're enticed. I only play these things solo, by the way, because I know that you and Martin are busier than me on Wednesday afternoons. Okay. Have to play this again. So that was the leader. Leader is going to use a second action to move in here, because this is a nice safe tile, so if anything goes wrong with the hazards, they're going to be all right. And with that in mind, I think I'm going to use my leader ability to give a free action to the bodyguard to get them to protect the medic and be in a better position to explore. Just Alexing says, 3-player board game stream. I'd be up for that. Thank you. Me too. Absolutely. We just have to make sure that we learn the rules before, or rather, I would make sure that I explain the rules to you and Martin before we start streaming, so that when I explain the rules to the audience, it's nice and quick, as opposed to the 3 of us spending an hour being like, so this is this, this is this, this is this, which is the other hazard with board games. And the other struggle I have, there are many board games I've considered doing for a live stream, which I haven't done, because I look at them and like, these rules are just too complicated, and I'm struggling to learn them. Explaining them online is going to be difficult. Oh no, this next tile is a cliff. I can go down it, way, but I can't go up it without a rope. Now I can place a rope as a special action, but I think I will position this in such a way that we are climbing down it like this. So the cliff or the precipice is there. Do I want to send the bodyguard that way with his second action? Oh no, sorry, that was his action from the leader. So his next, now it's the medic's turn. Let's go this way. Let's avoid that cliff, and then let's explore. What we got? Oh crap, we've got a corner, and it's gassy. Some kind of underground sulfur, I guess, because it's green. Unnatural, well, a natural gas that's unhealthy, and it will kill us. I mean, it won't kill us. It will do a lot of damage to us. It could kill us, but depends how much health we've got left. So that's going to go there. Might try to avoid that. So that was the medic's turn. Let's do the bodyguard. They're going to move here and use their other action to research. Oh no, more gas. Ah no. So if I draw a gas on the hazard cards, we're going to suffer through it. No, let's put it there. Because that way we might be able to avoid gas if the path continues this way. So then that was the bodyguard's action, and now it's the scout. Scout's not in a great position, so the scout is just going to go 1, 2, and stick with the group. And now we draw a hazard card. It's gas! Lo and behold, it was gas. Of course it was gas, because I drew 2 gas tiles. So that means these gas tiles are activated, and if I move into those gas tiles in this next turn, I'll take 2 damage, lose 2 health points just by walking into them. So that's no good. Going to avoid those. Okay. So just Alexon says, I think me and Martin getting confused by the rules will be part of the fun. I think it's true. And Nucken, hello Nucken, is waving, saying hello. Hi, how are you? What's going on in your world? Please do let me know. So everyone just had a turn. It's the end phase. Now it's the next turn. See, we're getting through these tiles quite quickly. Oh, first player moves on to the medic. The medic is going to use their action to... I'm going to take a risk and explore, because I want to avoid the gas. I want to avoid this cliff up here, because I can't climb back up it. So I'm going to move this way. So I'm going to spend 1 action to reveal a tile and step onto it, regardless, right, of what it is. Okay, could be worse. It's a cave-in tile. Unfortunately, the tiles do have to line up, so that, because it's a corner, it has to go here, and it's directing me towards the gas. So that was not a smart... That turned out to be not a smart move, because now I have to walk into the gas. Great. Nucken says, it's flu season in Finland. Peepo sad. Is that a typo? I'm not sure what that means. I'm on vacation. First 2 days I've been dying with the flu. Oh no. Ah, typical rubbish timing. That's the problem. With, I'm so sorry. I hope it's, Look, it says no, it's emote. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I hope you're feeling all right. I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're definitely on the mend. Really sorry you got flu. But also, typical rotten timing that you got flu on, you know, your holiday. It's typical. Typical crap. Mm. Sorry, just having my drink. So that was the medic. Now the scout. Oh, Nucken says I spent 20 hours in bed. That is rough, man. That is rough. But that's the best thing you can do, isn't it? When you've got a heavy cold, and especially the flu, just, you know, just sleep, just rest. So the scout. No, we'll go with the bodyguard. Maybe I will backtrack and go this way with the cliff. Because what I can do is try to place a rope. And I can place a rope. Ah, there it is. Place rope. Spend both actions and roll a die. And if I'm successful, I place a rope. And that means we can go back and forth over this little cliff. So, I'm going to go 1. Wait a second. Just realized That's one action. I need to spend 2 actions, so I could use the leader's ability here. Maybe I'll do that. I'll switch to the leader. The leader's going to give an action to the bodyguard, and the bodyguard's going to take that action, use that action to move here, so he's in position to place the rope on his turn. The leader, meanwhile, is going to... Gosh, I don't know. Maybe 1, 2. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's see if we can explore, get better results by exploring up there. And the scout is going to follow the leader. No, he's going to stick with the bodyguard, I think. Okay. Bodyguard's turn, sorry. 2 actions, and we roll a die. Let's find out. I need a 4, 5, or 6 to pass, so a 4 plus. 50% chance of passing. A 6! Wow. He knows the ropes. Why? There we go, little rope tile. And we just place it on the tile. So now that rope is there, and we can go back and forth. Nice. Well done. Full on 6. He passed that with flying colours. Nucken says, been working like crazy over the summer. 14-hour shifts for 12 days in a run kind of thing. So I think it's caught up to me. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for you. That is horrible. That is rough. But I will explain why the flu has got you so badly. Because your body is just not... It's worn out, man. Worn out. Not ready to fight off the flu. I hope you're better. And thank you for tuning in whilst you're ill. I really appreciate it. Time for a hazard card. Tremor! Oh no, it's an earthquake. So that means everybody has to roll a die, and if they pass, they're fine. If they fail, they take some damage from the earthquake. Some rubble falling on them. So let's go with the bodyguard. The bodyguard failed, so the bodyguard takes damage. Loses a health. Let's put it there. Luckily, the bodyguard's special ability, Protective, means that other cavers on the tile don't lose any health from floods, gas, cave-ins, or tremors. So the scout, who's with the bodyguard on this tile, ignores the tremor. I guess as the bodyguard uses his huge physique to shield the petite little scout. So the doctor, how's the doctor going to do? Doctor fails, so the doctor takes damage. Oh, come on, stupid doctor. You're supposed to be able to know better than that. Got a helmet on and everything. And the leader, now the leader has a special ability that means they get +1 to all their dice rolls. So the leader will only fail on a 1 or a 2. So let's see what I roll. Hey, a 3. Did I just... So they pass. They pass, which is fantastic, so they're fine. But also, I think I just rolled 1, 2, 3. Which is kind of weird. Nucken says, I'm just relaxing in bed playing some Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Nice. Just Alexing did posture check. Okay, thanks, Alex. Checking my posture. I think that's what I'm supposed to do, right? All right. I was getting a bit slumpy there, so thank you. Assassin's Creed, there was a trailer yesterday for the new one. The next one. What's it called? Assassin's Creed Mirage? Looks like it's going to be set in the Middle East. Some Arabia seemed to be the general kind of setting from the trailer. It wasn't particularly specific. Is that going to be... Do people know about Assassin's Creed Mirage? Is it going to be a similar kind of, open world thing to the last few games? Aha, so we're onto the bodyguard now. Now the bodyguard, I think, will move and search, reveal a tile. Let's have a look. It's for fart's sake, it's another cliff and a rope. Oh my gosh. Well, this is fun. Let's build the kind of steps. Yeah, there was an ancient waterway here that created this. It used to be 2 little waterfalls together, but now it's this. So we have to use his next turn to put another rope in if he can. Just Alexing says Assassin's Creed Mirage looks like an actual assassin game, which hasn't been for a while. for the series. I suppose, yes, assassins. The word comes from the Hashashin, isn't it? Which is the Arabian murderers who used to get high on cannabis, didn't they? Isn't that where it comes from? Um, I haven't played Assassin's Creed for ages. Are the latest games, have they not been assassin games? I thought they were. I don't know. I haven't played them because there's Valhalla. Before that, there was the Greek one, Odyssey, and then before that was the Egyptian one, which was called. What was it called? What was the Egyptian one called? Assassin's Creed Pyramids or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, that was the bodyguard. Onto the scout. Scout is gonna. Scout's gonna join the leader. Let's go. Let's go there. Might not be worth going this way, to be honest. Nukken says Assassin's Creed Origins, right? Yes, of course. That's why I can't remember, because it's not directly related to the setting. Oh, it's a flood tile. Oh dear. This is the leader, by the way. So let's put that there. They're going to use their other action to reveal. Let's explore some more. Oh my gosh. Like a nasty spiked cavern. Whatever the opposite of a cavern is, yeah, like a cave-in underfoot. Well, that's got to go there. But I don't even know what that is. Let's have a look at the reference. Rough terrain. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's all spiky, so that means you have to roll the die, and if you fail the test, you take some damage. Okay, I'm fine with that. That's fine. Let me just check. Oh crap! A cave-in will take 3 health off you. That's not good. Yeah. I'm just gonna might just double check the rules or something here to make sure I only took. It's a nice rule book, by the way. It's 52 pages. You might be able to see that on screen. I don't know. But half of that is actually just Kickstarter credits. Thank you for the Kickstarter people. It's a very good rule book, actually. It's one of the better ones I've read. At the moment, as you can see, it's invisible. So I just want to double check that when there's a tremor, I only take 1 damage. Tremor. Yeah. That is correct. Oh, okay. I've got a conversation going on in the chat about Assassin's Creed. Detector says he hasn't played Valhalla. Haven't you? Oh, I thought you had. Couldn't get into Odyssey, but enjoyed Origins. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is probably the best. Yeah, I haven't actually finished that game, but I keep meaning to return to it because I really enjoyed it. It was the I know it was considered one of the better ones for it, but it was all the present day bits. Again, those games, they should never have done all the sci-fi crap with the present day settings. They just never. It's such a bad idea. Valhalla, I think, wasn't as well received as some of the others. I think it kind of like. I feel like it depended a little bit on how much you liked Vikings, because if you like Vikings a lot, then you'll enjoy it. If you love Vikings with a real passion, then it might annoy you because it's kind of inaccurate. Oh, a nice safe corner, but it's the medic. So let's put that safe corner here. I think I'm doing the right thing. I think. I'm just going to double check. Do I have to put a tile in front of me? Can I put it anywhere I like? Double check. Oh no, it has to be next to me. So I'll have to have done that. I'll have to move here and then put it over here. Yeah. Rough. Wouldn't mind getting out of the gas. Right, so now it's hazard time. Another tremor! Ooh! So, let's see. Does the medic brace himself well? He does! The medic's fine. Does the bodyguard brace himself well? He doesn't. Takes another damage. Gosh. I guess he's such a big fella. I mean, look at the size of him. He must just struggle to get his balance right. The scout and the leader. The scout passes, and the leader fails. So the scout so far is the only person who hasn't taken damage. But that's all right. That's all right. If one of them probably should have kept the scout with the bodyguard to prevent them getting any damage. But then they're the ones who passed, so it doesn't make a difference. Right. Okay. Let's move on to the next turn. We're back to the scout being the first player character. I think the scout is gonna go via the flooded tile. We don't have a flood yet. So I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna reveal. And we've got it's a monster's nest. A horror. Our first horror on the board. Oh no. And I'm right next to it. That's really bad. Oh, so close. We all. Oh no. So that's a dead end, so I can't go going that way, and the monsters are going to come from there when they spawn, which is bad. So I actually kind of want to head in this direction now, away from the monster. But we've got all these problems to deal with. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The leader is going to give an action to the medic to get them out of the gas tile. And then they're going to use their actions to... Because they've got a good... No, I need to keep... I'm splitting the team up. I need to keep the team together. They're going to use both their actions to head in this direction. Let's end on the safe tile. Avoid a cave-in if I can. No, the medic's turn next. The medic will explore. One action to reveal a tile and go onto it. Oh, thank goodness. It's a nice, safe, easy tile. That's great. That's fantastic. That's such a relief. You may notice this is one of those games where you start it like, oh, this is nice, this is easy. And then the more as you get into it, you're like, oh, actually, I'm getting quite tense. And the process of revealing tiles is getting quite nerve-wracking. Okay, so that's the medic. They used one action to do that, and they're going to use one action, because that's their special ability, to bandage themselves and get their health back. Everybody should head towards the medic, I think. Yeah. So, bodyguard is not going to waste his action to put a rope there, I don't think. They're going to go 1, 2 onto a safe tile. So, let's find out what the hazard is. It's the horror! That was well timed. It's like the game knew. How did it know? So that means all the horrors... Well, if there isn't a horror on the board, a horror spawns where there is a horror nest. So there is now a monster on the board. It's a shame. The actual game comes with tokens with the horror symbol on them. I don't know why the Tabletopia digital version of the game doesn't. I don't know why it just comes with these grey tokens. It's a bit weird. Like they forgot. Nucken says, I watched your new podcast last night while I died with the flu. Well done, boys, on a just interesting enough podcast again. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Really am. Really am glad you enjoyed it. No, sorry. I am... Oh, I forgot. There's a special rule. Exerting. You can exert yourself to gain a third action point. That's useful. and you roll the die, and if you fail the test, you lose a health point. That's useful to know. I'd forgotten about that. If you draw the horror card, right? Okay. Yeah. So if you're on the same tile as a horror at any point, you lose all your health and you become unconscious, and you can be woken up again. The medic can heal you, or another friend can heal you, but you want to get everyone out of the cave. So the horror card spawns a horror, and then the horror phase, they move towards you. So look, that means they're going to move in the horror phase, which is now, I think. Yes, it is. No, it isn't, because it's the horror phase and then the hazard phase. So now it's the end of the turn. Phew. But the scout has special ability stealthy, which means they cannot they don't take any damage from being in the same tile as a horror, which is fantastic. They are the perfect person to be on that tile right there next to the horror. The perfect person to reveal a horror tile, a horror nest. That's great. Okay, so first player is now the leader again. So leader, following the leader, the leader, the leader. We're gonna go all in and hope we don't get to a dead end this way. So one action, two actions, I think. Then it's the medic. Medic's gonna explore again. Ah, it's another bloody gas tile. The medic just uncovering all this gas. Let's hope I don't draw a gas card in the hazard phase. Medic's got another action, so they're going to explore again. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is bad. The medic is now on a horror tile because I chose to explore, which means I reveal the tile and step onto it in the same action. And it's a dead end. Ugh. At least I revealed the dead end before the leader and the bodyguard got all the way down there. Can I have to go this way now? All this way. I've got 3 paths open to me, but they're not good ones. So let's hope I don't draw a horror card, because then a monster will appear on that tile and the medic will immediately lose all their health and become unconscious, and the medic is the one who can heal with the least inconvenience. So hey, we've got a first-time chatter. We've got Gokasok and DK. A great name. Oh my, I actually get to watch you live. Oh, you do. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoy this. Have you played this game? Sub Terra, it's called. It's a board game, a tile placement board game, a kind of dungeon explorer with monsters in a deep underground cave. It's pretty cool. I enjoy it. I've played it before, but it's been a few years, and I'm playing it again, and I'm enjoying it. I really am. It's nice having your company. We've had a whole conversation going on about Assassin's Creed, with Nucken talking more also about podcast last night. The Just Interesting, not last night, sorry. The Just Interesting podcast went live on Monday, and we were talking about the royal family and the fact that the Queen has died, and now we have a king, and we'll have to change the currency. All our money will have to change. And Nucken says, I think they're going to try and eradicate physical money for online banking, as they said they were going to do for years, because after Brexit, you guys don't have the money to spend making money. That's an interesting point, actually. Particularly, yeah, a lot of the raw materials required for making coins and the plastic notes, isn't that like from Eastern Europe? I could be wrong there, but I feel like Brexit would absolutely pushed up all the prices of all the raw materials required for us to print more money, to make money, coins and paper money. And now I feel like the war in Ukraine and post-pandemic supply chain issues means it's going to be even more expensive. But unlike before, where the Bank of England could kind of like shrug and say, we'll just wait to print more money until we really need it. Now we need it because we've got a new monarch, so we have to change it. That's awkward. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah. Money in my wallet is now... I have to have some change in my wallet. I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't looked at it since... I don't know if you can see that. Actually, let's go back to full screen. That's just for a moment. Can you see that? The Queen's head. Yeah. That's out of date now. It's a weird kind of thought. Anyway, back to the game. I can't remember what I was doing. I was... I just revealed a horror tale and I was reacting to that in a kind of like, crap way. And that was the medic's second action. So they've got no more actions. Let's just hope I don't draw a horror card. Nucken says, my money has no legal tender. You guys are poor. I was poor anyway. I have no money anyway. And I'm not joking. Literally don't have any money this month. So I think there's got to be a grace period. They'll want to get the coins back at some point, take them out of circulation, and hopefully melt them down and reuse them. But yeah, that's a problem. Maybe I should take this change and put it in the bank before it's too late. Or buy some fish and chips. But I actually wouldn't buy fish and chips. I'd buy just chips and mushy peas with scraps. Anyone else like scraps? Is scraps just a thing? I feel like in the south of England, scraps seem to be... They're available, but no one seems to get them. Whereas growing up in the Midlands, which is... and the northern end of the Midlands as well, in England, scraps was just standard. It was like the chip shops would try to give you scraps. You get offered scraps. Whereas in the south, you have to ask for it. And when you ask it, chip shops look at you and like, what? Okay, if you want some scraps, but sure. They're very nice about it, but they tend to look at you as though you're a bit weird and it's a bit of an inconvenience. Scraps is just batter, by the way. It's just all the bits of batter that fall off the fish and the sausages when they batter them, and they just keep it, put it to the side. It's great. It's pure batter. Who wouldn't want to eat that? Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted now. The medic's turn. So it's the bodyguard's turn. Yes, bodyguard. Ooh, he's going to sprint. Move 3 tiles at once. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, he's going to run. Move 3 tiles at once. That uses both actions. Because I think he's going to have to rescue the medic. And then we get to the scouts. The scout's going to skedaddle away from this horror particularly, but also this tile with the flood on, potential to flood on it. So 1 action, 2 actions. It's rough terrain, but let's see if we pass the test, the skill check. We do, so we're fine. Excellent. Nucken says, I was brought up in Nottingham. Oh, that's not far from where I grew up. I love scraps. I miss chip shops so much. We don't have them in Finland. No, what? I mean, I knew that. I knew that fish and chips is a British thing, but what? Surely fish and chips can be implemented anywhere in the world. And once people know that it's a thing, they should have it in every country. Surely. Going back to Nottingham in October for your birthday. First time in 7 years. Wow. Well, happy birthday ahead of your birthday. I know it's a bit early, but happy birthday. And I was in Nottingham just the other week, actually. Visiting a friend who lives there. Nice town. I like Nottingham. It's been a bit of a building site in the middle of town for a few years now, and they finally kind of nearly finished. So hopefully by the time you get there in October, you'll be able to see the centre of town. It's changed a little bit because they've demolished some buildings and built some new stuff. But hopefully it won't just be scaffolding and piles of rubble. Oh, Nucken says we celebrate your birthday because it's the same day as Martin's. Nice. Nice. I didn't realize we'd I think we always mention it like when it's one of our birthdays. We tend to mention it, but I'd forgotten. Yeah, I was like, I was about to ask, how do you know, have we ever mentioned the date? That's quite possibly. We do live streams, and if it's one of our birthdays, we'll probably say happy birthday. Okay, so we're now on to the hazard. No, the horror phase. The horror moves one tile closer to the nearest person, which everyone's over here, so it has to move that way. And then we draw a card. It's another tremor. Okay, a lot of tremors. So, the medic fails. I know tremors are difficult to prepare for. They just come on all of a sudden, but seriously. The third one, you should be better prepared for it now. The bodyguard fails. Okay, bodyguard needs healing. Badly. The leader, they get a +1 to all their results because they're an experienced caver. So they technically rolled a 6. Brilliant, but excessive. And the scout failed as well. Gosh, that was quite a violent tremor then. Everyone but the most experienced caver took damage. Gokasokon DK says, apparently Danish bacon is cut from pig's loin and is meatier than American bacon, which is from a pig's belly. Really? Huh. I wonder where British bacon is cut from. I have a feeling British bacon is from the back, but I could be wrong. All I know is that American bacon tends to be thin rashers rather than like proper kind of coin-shaped. British bacon looks amazing and like proper bacon, and then bacon rashers I associate as being a very American thing, just like some thin strips of nothing. Although crisps up beautifully, I'll say that. Bacon rashers crisp beautifully. Anyway, back onto the first player is now the medic again. That's probably a good thing because they need to get out of this place. Okay, they need to get out of this place. So let's move once, move twice. No, they're going to run. They're going to use all their actions to run, to join the bodyguard, because I have an idea. Oh, oops. Then it's the bodyguard's turn. The bodyguard is going to stay put, I guess. No, they're going to spend 2 actions to join the leader. Nucken says, talking about food, I'm going to run to the closest Greggs and chip shop when I go back to the UK. I sympathise, but Greggs? Really? Is Greggs the best the UK has to offer? The answer is no. But I admit, it's suddenly exploded. In the pandemic, I guess a load of places closed, and Greggs has decided to expand into those places. And I admit, at the moment, we have a cost of living crisis. And I appreciate the fact that Greggs is very affordable. And I will also acknowledge that Greggs is better than it used to be. I remember it from when I was a teenager, so we're going back a long time now. And it was awful back then. And its reputation for being awful was earned back then and has persisted since then. But it's actually much better now. It's still not great, but then it's one of the few places where, because I had it recently, because I had no choice. I was stuck at a train station at awkward hours, and Greg's was the only place that was open, and I was starving. And I admit, not only was it better than I expected, but also it's one of the few places I've been to recently where the food felt like the price, if that made sense. I was happy to pay what I paid for that food. I was like, this is decent. Like, decent price, affordable, and actually didn't feel like I was overpaying for anything. And it's been a long time since that happened. Oh, that could be because I live in the south of England, which is the worst part of England. In many ways. It's also the best in many other ways. So that was the bodyguard's action. We're down to the scouts. Scouts definitely going to explore. What they got? Ooh, a T-junction. It's safe. Good. You're going to step onto that, stay safe, and they're going to reveal another tile. Please, please, let's find the exit soon. Another cave-in tile. Great. Okay, let's put that there. Try to avoid that if I can. Nookham, born and grown in Nottingham, now live in the middle of nowhere on the Finland border. I miss Greg's and chip shops. Don't judge. I get you. I'm saying if Greg's is your thing, that's fine. I absolutely 100% approve of missing chip shops. I'm just saying, you know, Greg's. I'm sad that Greg's is the thing you miss, along with fish and chips. But, like I say, I was trying to admit that Greg's is actually much better than its reputation suggests. I just didn't say that. So now we're back to the leader. Woo! The leader gets an extra action. They're going to use that action to get the medic to heal themselves again. And they're going to... What are they going to do? I feel like staying on the same tile as the bodyguard is probably a good idea. But we need to move. So they're going to go 2 actions there. Oh dear. Now it's the horror phase. The horror moves 1 space to the nearest person, and they're on the crossroads. The tile that I need to go through. Ah, that's so annoying. Let me draw a hazard card. What's it going to be? It's the horror card again. Yay! So that means another horror spawns here, and this horror moves closer. Crap. We got a problem. We got a problem. Oh, Nukan lives on the border with Russia. What's the atmosphere like there? Is there any kind of tension, any fear of you know, a repeat of the Winter War from the 1940s? Hope everything's all right over there. What we're doing, that's the end of that turn, so we're back to bodyguard takes the first action. Bodyguard. Now they've got a special ability which is going to be really essential here, which is repel. Remove a horror on an adjacent tile from the cave. And it's the word adjacent there is important because if you're on the same tile as a horror, it removes all your health. It attacks you. And then you go unconscious. And adjacent is good because he's 2 tiles away. So he can go 1 action, 2 action, and then when the leader takes their turn, they can give their spare action to him to repel that horror. Okay, medic. No, medic on the scout. The scout's going to explore. So they're going to move on to this tile, whatever it is. Bloody hell. Okay, well, let's find out what happens. Oh, they passed their test, so they don't take any damage. Fantastic. We're going to explore again. Get off this tile. Oh, another cave-in tile. Oh, the problem is we haven't had a cave-in yet, right? So that means one of these hazard cards is going to be a cave-in, right? Gokosakon DK says, in quotation marks, if you're on the same tile, it removes all ad starts. Oh, I'm really sorry, mate. Sorry about these ads. They seem to be getting worse on Twitch. Or is it just me? Same with YouTube. I know YouTube's done it for a long time now, but I feel like YouTube has very subtly gone from experimenting with having multiple adverts, which are unskippable, to just, you've got 2 adverts every single time you launch a video, and you can't skip them. Granted, they're not a minute long, they're about 20 seconds each or something like that, but I feel like YouTube has just very subtly, very quietly made it, you know, impossible to avoid their adverts now. Okay, that was the scout. So now it's back to the leader. Woo! Leader's going to use their ability to give an extra action to another character to give it to the bodyguard to repel this horror and remove it from our path. Brilliant. And then the leader's going to spend both their actions to run, I think. They can go 1, 2, 3. And I know it's a tile, which can cause damage, but they have a +1 to all dice rolls, which they didn't need because they passed anyway. Fantastic. So they didn't take any damage from going across that rough terrain. Nukan, in response to my question about what's the atmosphere like, what's the mood in Finland because of the potential threat from Russia being on the Russian border, they say there's no concern now. There was concern when they were trying to get into NATO. Sweden and Finland were talking about it for ages. Sweden could join, but Finland couldn't because of Turkey, who's friendly with Russia, kept vetoing it. But now you're in NATO. Yeah, right? Okay. So that was the leader, and now it's down to the medic again. Medic is healed, so medic will run. Let's try to catch up with the others. That is the right. I've been doing that right, haven't I? Sorry. Basic actions. Yeah, 2 actions to move 3 spaces. Yeah, thought so. Horror phase. This horror is going to move the only way it can. Hazard phase. It's gas. Okay. So to the end, to the next hazard phase. Gas is in effect. Ooh, which means any tile with gas on, like these 3 here, cause damage to me if I move through them. As soon as I step onto them, I get damage. Which is lucky, because I just moved through them. Fantastic. That was well timed. Whew. Right. Oh, the cave-ins are going to happen all at once, aren't they? Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Okay, first player is the scout again. Back to the scout. They're going to explore. Come on. Ooh, it's a particularly steep one there. Another thing. They explored, so they've crossed it. They'll explore again, I think. No, they'll just reveal this time. Oh, shoot. I can't place this tile. Because it needs to... There's a pathway coming down here, and then there's a straight line pathway there. So presumably the rules would let me to place it somewhere else. Let's have a look. Oh, maybe it cuts off. Maybe it does cut off, actually. I feel like it's not meant to. But see, it may be because I'm partly remembering the rules that I played when I was playtesting it. It was nearly complete, by the way. It already looked like this. All the artwork was done and the components were printed. They were just playing it again and again before printing it. Cave tiles. They must be placed so that they connect to the tile of the revealing or exploring player. The remaining open sides of the place tile don't have to make full connections with any other neighboring tiles. So I guess, yeah, they've just simplified it by saying this takes precedence, which is a shame, actually, because I've now ended up cutting off my route down here. Now, this tile here, I've been avoiding it because it takes 2 actions to cross through it, because it's like a tight squeeze, so it's slowing you down as you breathe in and squeeze through. But it doesn't damage you, so it would actually have been quite useful to be able to take this shortcut around here so that everybody can get together again. But now we're all going to have to take the long way around, which is a bit annoying. Okay. So that was the scout's action. Now it's the leader's action. Leader is going to give the medic an action. So they come here. So they start with the bodyguard. And then the leader themselves is going to go 1, 2, Roll the die to see if they fail. No, they passed out with flying colours because with the +1 they rolled a 6, which is the best result. They really managed that rough terrain with their experience. I'm just going to spend... no, I think I'll stay there. I'll stay there. And then the medic is going to use their ability to, yeah, for one action, they can heal another caver. And they're going to spend both their actions this turn. No, they're going to exert themselves, actually, to fully heal the bodyguard. But when they exert themselves, they have to take a skill test. And if they fail it, they take a wound. Just need a 4+. They rolled a 1. They really exerted themselves healing the damage. Healing the bodyguard. I mean, he's a big fella. He took a lot of damage. Probably was quite an exhausting process. And they ended up cutting themselves with the scissors when they're cutting the bandage or something like that. Right. That was the medic, and now it's the bodyguard. Is the bodyguard going to stay? The medic, actually, unless there's a tremor, the medic is safe on that tile. So the bodyguard is going to just move 2, I think. Let's keep it simple. Let's not push it. The horror phase. The horror monster will move 1 closer towards us. And then hazard phase, what do we have? Cave in! Oh, here the cave-ins are starting. They're going to start. Now, the cave-in is interesting. So the way this works is there are all these tiles, you can see, quite a few of them, actually. There are currently 5? Yeah, 5 tiles with this cave-in symbol on them. But they also have little pictures of dice on them. And what that means is when you draw the card that says cave-in, you roll the die. I rolled a 6. Every tile that has a picture of a die with the number 6 on it, the 6 pips, gets caved in. And luckily, of the 5 on the board, only one of them, which is this one, has a number 6 on it. So what happens now is that tile has a cave-in and it becomes blocked. I cannot travel past that. I have to spend 2 actions to dig it out, basically. And luckily, there was no one on it. If there was someone on that tile, they would have taken damage. In fact, I think they would have taken quite a lot of damage. Yeah, the cave-in means they would have taken 3 damage, which basically makes them unconscious because only the bodyguard has more than 3 health. Yikes. Right. So now we're back to the leader being the first player. The leader is going to... Nucken says, this game seems annoyingly unfair. It is a harsh game, but it's a cooperative game. So when you're playing with other people, you're working together. And most games of this nature are quite tough and challenging so that everyone working together towards a common goal is constantly having to do something useful, which keeps them engaged in the game. And that's the reason. I would say this is one of the hardest games I've played. I should have prefaced that at the beginning of the video, of the stream. I've actually played this several times, and it is quite a challenging game. So far, I'm doing remarkably well, actually. I'm going to say I'm doing remarkably well. I am playing it on normal difficulty, which helps. I think I've also got very lucky. The timing of some of these things, such as the gas, was perfect. I had the only gas I had on the board was all down here, and I was moving away from it, so the gas didn't bother me. The cave-ins, this is the first one we've had. We're going to have more. We're going to have a lot more, I imagine. And I rolled a 6, which only affected 1 tile. You know, if I'd rolled a 4, it would have affected these 3, you know, and therefore cut off the medic. So, you know, I've been lucky. Gokakasok and DK says, oh no, don't jinx it. Yep. Thanks. Yeah, I've already jinxed it, I think, by acknowledging how lucky I've been. So that was the cave-in. Back to the leader. The leader is going to reveal. I think they won't explore. Oh, a nice straight tile. Well then, let's put that here. Maybe I should have explored, because I now want to... Should I explore again and maybe connect this tile up? Or is that wasting it? Yeah. that doesn't actually help because it's the same length of time to move around here as it would be to move here. It's the same number of actions, right? So I may move there onto a safe tile. I should have explored, shouldn't I? And I'm going to give their extra action to the medic, who's going to just start skedaddling. The next action is for the medic again. Medic has two special abilities. Bandage, which is choose another cave on your tile to regain 1 health. Or sprint, perform 2 move actions. I think they're going to sprint. 1, 2. Let's roll a die because they're running across rough terrain. They failed again. Oh my gosh, you stupid medic. They will not sprint. I was going to sprint again, so they would move here. Now, since they've only got 1 health left now, so they's in trouble. Let's just move them there to this safe tile. So they're not on a cave-in tile, they're not on a gas tile, they're not on a flooding tile, they're safe for any hazard except for the tremor, which is why the next action is the bodyguard's turn. The bodyguard is going to spend 2 actions to move next to the medic, so the bodyguard will protect them from all damage. But the bodyguard moved across this tile, which is rough terrain, so they roll a die and don't take damage. Excellent. The medic healed them so well, they've regained their ability to walk. Excellent. Right. Let's oh, it's the scout. Yeah, because the scout is black. It's really hard to see. As in the scout's meeple is black. And on this board where there's lots of black, it's very hard to see it. But here's the scout. The scout's going to spend both actions to attempt to put a rope in place, but they need to pass a skill check, which they fail. Well done, scout. Shouldn't have climbed down the cliff. When a bodyguard did it, got it with a 6, he was standing at the top, so he must have just, just drops the rope down and ties it off to a rock. Whereas this time, the scout's trying to grapple it back up, and that's a harder challenge, isn't it? So, let's... that was it. That was the turn. So now it's the horror. Horror is going to advance. Thank goodness the horror is so far away. I'm very grateful for that. And it's the hazard phase. Horror! Yay! Perfectly timed. So this horror is going to move forward, and then another horror is going to spawn right there at the nest that's much closer. Great. Great. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right. First player is now the medic. Medic's going to spend both actions to heal themselves. It's what they got to do. Shame they can't spend 1 action to heal themselves. Because it specifies here, 1 action to choose another cave on your tile. You can't heal yourself with 1 action. It's a shame. So that was 2 actions. So now it's the bodyguard's turn. I mean, I kind of want the bodyguard to stick with the medic, but I guess the medic is safe now. Bodyguard will spend 2 actions to clear this cave in, because we might end up having to go back that way. And now it's the scout's turn. Scout is going to try again to put a rope in place. 2 actions and a dice roll. They passed, this time fully with a 6. Amazing. So they clearly that first attempt to throw the grappling hook failed, but this time they succeeded. Oh, what's going on here? Why is it's going spammy? Oops, I didn't. Oh, what's going on? I'm trying to rotate the tile underneath. Right, there we go. There we go. So they did it. Yay! Hold on a second, just got a phone call. Let me just... Right. Oops. Sorry about that pause. Just got a phone call, as you heard, and just want to let them know that I'm not answering not because I don't like them, but because I am doing this. Where was I? The scout. That was a leader's turn. Great. Yes, leader is going to maybe give the scout an action. Yeah, give the scout an action to move there so they're ready to explore next turn. And themselves is going to explore. What we got? A flood tile. Well, as in, currently it's just a pool. It's an innocent little pool. Nothing to worry about. But these cards are going to have to move. Let's move them all out of the way. If I draw a flood hazard card, then that's going to be flooded, and that's not good. So they explored, so they moved on to it. So let's explore again. What is it? Another flood tile. Okay, clearly got into the watery part of their cave, which at least it's a crossroads, so it can go in any direction. That's good. So here's loads of water, and there's loads of gas. So clearly there's the trapped gas underground there, and then the underground springs are here. Well, there is some water here, which is in front of the nest with the horrors. So I guess that's why the nest is there. Not sure why that nest is there next to the gas. Clearly the horrors aren't affected by it. So that was all my turn. Oh dear. Now it's the horror phase. The monsters move closer. This is not good. This is not good. And it's a flood. Sod. That's not good. It was going to happen, right? It's going to happen. So in the flood, you lose 1 health and place a flood marker on it. So the problem with the flood is that it stays there. It never goes away. And once it's there, it costs 2 actions to go through it because you're swimming, right? And anyone who's on a tile when it floods loses health because apparently water suddenly rising up from beneath you damages you. I don't really know why the leader would take damage from that, but they did, which is unnerving because I've only got 1 health left. Gonna need the medic's help. And that pathway is going to take us a lot to move through. So that's potentially not the route I want to take. Great. Well, now it's the bodyguard goes first. Tempted to send the bodyguard back to try to remove this horror, but I feel like that's unwise. Let the horrors come to us. Just keep the bodyguard at the back of the group. Let's follow the scout, I think. So the bodyguard's going to move 1 and then move 2. And when he moves 1, he's going to go across difficult terrain, and he passes 6. Wow, he's really conquering that terrain. I guess the medic gave him a shot of adrenaline when he dressed all those wounds, and he's just like, I can do anything. So that was the bodyguard, and the scout is going to explore. It's another potential cave-in tile, but hey, whatever. Whatever. Ugh. Pretty sure this is a corner, yeah. So those 2 tiles don't connect, they're cut off. I'll just leave a little gap there to remind me. And I'll explore again, get off the cave-in tile. Oh, for Pete's sake, it's a dead end and it's a bloody horror's nest. Ah. At least it's the scout. The scout cannot get damaged by the horrors, so if a horror spawns there right now, the scout is safe. That's something. Oh, hi, Spiffing. Spiffing's in there. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the Patreon as well, by the way. I meant to send you an email. I hope I did send you a message on Patreon. But thank you. Thank you so much. How you doing? Have you played this game, Sub Terra? Is it new to you, or have you played it before? It's been around for a few years. It's a cooperative game. It's a scary game. It's actually no, it's not that scary. It's tense. It's tense, but it's got a nice kind of horror vibe. So, shoot. I explored, didn't I? So the scout is on that tile. Ugh, right. So now we go to the leader. Leader is going to give an action to the scout to move off that tile. Away from the horror's nest. Well, now we've got to go that way or this way. I think I have to spend 2 actions just to move off the flooded tile. Let me check the rules. Water. When a flood has a card that is resolved, flood markers are placed on all unflooded water tiles, and each caver on a water tile loses a health. I did that. Cavers cannot enter tiles with flood markers on them except by using the swim action, which costs 2 actions. Okay. So I can get off it. I just can't advance into it without spending 2 actions. Surfing There's thank you, you're welcome, to me thanking them for joining the Patreon. I've been bombarding the Discord with my AI creations of Orson Welles. Brilliant. Yes, thank you. That's so good. Brilliant. Absolutely amazing. Glad you got access to the Discord. Yeah. What on earth am I going to do here? Do I keep following the water, or do I come back here, stick with the bodyguard? I'm going to run. Sorry, I'm going to spend 2 actions to run. 1, 2, 3. And in that movement, I passed over rough terrain. Whoa, with a 6 or a 7 even. +1 to my dice roll as the leader. Wow. Okay. Medic's turn. Medic could heal themselves, but let's get away from... So we're going to move for 1 action, because then medic can do that. 1 action to move 2 spaces. They're going over the rough terrain tile. They passed with a 5. Wow, getting all my good dice rolls out, aren't I? And then with their remaining action, they're going to heal the leader. Fan-bloody-tastic. Everyone's together on the group. Yay! There's the scout, and there's everyone else. Everyone's like, where's the scout? Can't see them. Spiffing says, I clicked on every post that had the tag Discord and eventually found an invite that worked. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. That's normally we welcome people with a Discord link, and I just haven't sent the welcome message yet. So I'm really sorry about that. But I'll send another one. I'll write another post with the Discord link just to give everyone that, all of our patrons and YouTube members, that access. So, horror phase. No. Yes, horror phase. They advance 1. They advance 1. And then we draw a card for the hazard phase. Tremor! There's only 13 cards left. I don't think I'm gonna find the escape before I think I'm getting out of this cave. Right. Well, the scout, how do they fare in the tremor? They failed, so they take damage. Oh dear, they could use healing. And then the bodyguard, because hey, the bodyguard's on the same tile as the medic and the leader. So the medic and the leader don't take any damage from the tremor, because the bodyguard uses his huge bulk to protect them both, apparently. And he fails quite decisively. I suppose he's busy protecting 2 other people, so, you know, he's going to take some damage there. Nice. So now we're on to the scout as the first player. They've only got 1 health, but they're also next to a potential horror nest. So, well, they're next to the nest, but there may be a horror coming out of it. So they're going to use the run action. Both actions to move 3 tiles and rejoin everybody else. We're all safe. We're all going to stay here for a bit, maybe. The leader is going to give an action to the medic, I think, to heal the scout. And then use their action to explore. And I hope to high heaven this works out, because I don't think I'm very pessimistic now about making out of this cave. But hey, that's a good tile to draw. That's a very good tile. They're now going to reveal rather than explore, I think, just in case it's a bad tile. Oh, for Pete's sake, it's another horror nest. And therefore a dead end as well. Oh my gosh. So now we've either got to go through the water or through this cave-in tile here. Which means going back towards the horror. Oh man. Okay. This is not a friendly route. Glad I didn't explore and move on to that tile. That was a good decision. Ah! Okay, I was the leader. Now it's the medic's turn. The medic is going to use an action, I think, to fully heal the scout, and then another action to fully heal the bodyguard. The bodyguard is then going to charge. Move 1, 2. Yeah, and over rough terrain, he takes damage. Oh no, he's a bit shaken by that tremor. At least he was fully healed. Boy, oh boy, this is not good. And I've got the scout and the medic on a cave-in tile. Gokosok DK asks, so the objective of this game is to escape a cave you've become lost in. Yes, sorry, yes, for everyone who joined late, that's exactly what the objective of this game is. And I'm revealing tiles from this stack here, one of which is the exit tile. So I just keep searching until I find the exit, and then we'll get onto the exit. Unfortunately, once I get to the bottom of this deck of hazard cards, there's only 13 left. Once I get to the bottom of that, the game's over, and I'm lost forever. And Spiffing says exactly the same thing. Having looked at the rulebook, well, that's a good initiative there. Yes, all makes more sense now. Thanks, says Gokosok. I apologize for not reiterating that when you joined. Every time someone joins, I have to remember to explain the objective again. Oh, did you think I was just like, I'm just sauntering around this cave? I suppose I could be looking for the Lost Ark or Holy Grail or something. No, I'm just cavers lost in a collapsed cave, like caved in underneath me, and I'm trying to find my way out. And as well as all the natural hazards, there's some monsters. Because, why not? I assume, just our interest, design note, I assume the horrors, the monsters, were added last. Because other than the horrors, there's nothing remotely supernatural about this at all. It's just very realistic in the sense that, oh, there's a little cliff edge that you can't go back up without a rope. There's a potential cave-in. There's some rough terrain that can damage you. You could get flooded. There's some natural gases, noxious gases being released. That's all very realistic. And I wonder if someone, when they invented this game, the premise originally was, I want to make some kind of spelunking simulator, but dangerous, like a disaster movie type thing. And then they invented it, they played it some more, play testing that is, and then eventually realized that, it needs something else. And then somebody said, why don't you add monsters that will chase you? Which is a standard thing, I think, in these kind of games, I feel like. Yeah, Gokuzok and DK said, I thought you were trying to find some sort of treasure or something, yeah. Spiffing says, don't they feel like an integral part of the game? You mean the monsters? Yeah, I mean, do you think they seem like an integral part of the game? Because each nest is in a dead end, which is neat, because it means every time you uncover a nest, not only do you have to, you're suddenly like, oh crap, there's a nest, but also it's the dead end, and you're like, I can't advance any further. I feel like those dead end tiles would exist anyway, right? Without the monsters. So, anyway. Did I just take everyone's turn? I've forgotten already. Oh no, I just took the bodyguard's turn and he failed a check. So now it's the... Oh no, I did take everyone's turn. Yeah. So now it's the horrors. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And then the hazard. And we get another flood. But that's all right. There's no more flooding to be done. Every tile that can be flooded is already flooded. Bugger. I need to... I think the bodyguard, who's going last, by the way, the leader's going first now. Leader is going to give an action to the bodyguard to move once. And he passes with a full 6. Nice. On that rough terrain. So he's going to then... the leader is then going to move... Run? I think they're going to run. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go for the water route. They passed over the rough terrain. Hey, with a 7 again. Oh, they're managing that rough terrain. I guess they're so frightened of the nest of horrors that they're like, I'm running out of fear and I'm really nimble now. They passed that quick time event. And then we're on to the medic. The medic is going to move. They're going to sprint, sorry, and move 2 spaces over the rough terrain, which they pass. Thank goodness. I mean, it's a 50% chance, but still, I feel relieved every time I pass, and it's remarkable that I'm passing as much as I am. He says, tempting fate. So he's got 1 action left. He's going to spend an action to heal the leader. And then the bodyguard is going to spend 1 action here to move, and then his second action to repel. Remove a horror on an adjacent tile from the cave. Get rid of you. I don't know how he's repelling them. I'm guessing he's got a weapon. He has a gun icon next to him, but yeah, he's got some shells there. Don't know how well you can see that. But they're there. And then that was well done. And then it's the scout's turn. The scout's just going to move 1, 2. But they passed over rough terrain, which they passed. Wow, everyone, except the bodyguard so far, cleared the rough terrain with no trouble. Which I'd hope so, since they've already been across it a couple of times each. They hopefully would have been all right. Okay. Right. Damn, that was everyone's turn, wasn't it? Now it's the horror. Horror's walking, creepy crawling towards us, and then we draw another card. I don't think I'm getting out of this cave. Okay, that just reactivates as another gas leak, so I'm just going to put that there to remind me that every tile with gas on, including any tile that I reveal now with gas on, is going to damage me. Yeah, it's that simple. Man, I feel trapped. This game is harsh. It feels tough. It kind of is tough. I think it is tough, but it's quite punishing. You know, just kind of, you just, all you're doing is innocently like, I'm just looking for a way out. And then the cave is constantly throwing stuff at you. Gokazok and DK says, all this gas could have been used to compensate for Russia cutting us off. Yeah, it could. Yeah, it's natural gas. It's all right. Here in the UK, our new Prime Minister wants fracking to be a thing again. Great. We went through this argument half a decade ago, and everyone said the right thing. They lost the fracking argument. And now we're back to it. Because, you know, who cares about climate change? Well, because we could frack and expand North Sea oil and gas exploration instead of building the wind farms and hydropower stations that we could use along our entire coastline. Because we're an island, for fart's sake. We can do this. We even now, ironically thanks to global warming, can have solar panels that are more useful than they used to be, because like today, it's a sunny day. We get a lot of sunshine anyway. Britain has never been short of its share of sunshine. That's not as easy to say as it sounded. But, you know, now that climate change has happened and global warming's occurred, we actually get a lot more sunshine than we used to. So solar power is a thing. We could definitely do that. Yeah, Spiffing says our new Prime Minister also thinks that solar panels are clogging up our countryside. I'd forgotten about that. But yeah, all those fields of solar panels that farmers put out. And you're just like, A, you're a bloody idiot for thinking power is anything but a good thing. And B, for someone who's supposedly pro-business, and as a conservative, conservatives are traditionally pro-farmers, the farmers make a business decision to sell their fields or rent their fields for solar farms. So why should you be against anything that is a business decision, right? You should be in favor of that. Spiffing says they don't even look that bad. I agree, especially since there aren't that many of them. They look all right. They're actually quite neat because they're quite this nice shade of dark blue and they're neatly organized. And yeah, they're quite low lying as well when you pass them in a car or on the train. You know, they're one field every few miles if you're lucky. Uh, you know, and wind turbines don't look that bad either. You know, I don't think. I mean, they've been designed to kind of blend with the clouds. But if you have a problem with onshore wind turbines, which we didn't used to under Labour, but now we do because it's the Conservatives, um, have offshore wind farms. They're a thing. They've existed for a long time. We have some already. Just expand them. Just Alexing says farmers are in favour of them. Literally nobody is against them except for Liz Truss and oil barons. Yeah, yeah. And it's dismaying as well just how much in the last couple of years all the big oil companies, I say big oil with capital letters, at least in Britain, are really pushing all their infrastructure they're putting in place for electric charging for cars. And they're saying, we're making investments in the future in renewables for a better world. And it's like, yeah, but you're also British Petroleum and you're still mining and selling fossil fuels and making all the plastics from them. You're like, you're still the problem. But having spent decades misinforming the public with funded fake science studies that you funded, and you know, bankrupted as many renewable energy firms as you possibly could, you've gone and now you're like, yeah, we're going to invest a small percentage of our profits in some renewable stuff. Yeah, Gokozak and DK says, once again, glad that we've decided to rely so much on wind power. Yeah. Sorry for the rant, everyone. I should have gone into politics a long time ago. That way, at least, I could do something more meaningful about it. Instead of frittering away my vote in the first past the post system, where my vote is meaningless because I live in England, right, which is so Tory. It's hard to live in an area that doesn't vote for the Tories. Even, especially now, at the moment, you know, since Boris Johnson broke down the red wall, yeah. And even if you live in Scotland, you know, the SNP have stolen Scotland from Labour permanently. Although the SNP are currently, at the moment, despite being nationalists, they're left-wing nationalists, so they're a socialist dream right now. I like the Green Party. I have voted for the Green Party in the past, but they're definitely, well, firstly, it's a vote that's never going to go anywhere if you vote for the Greens in our system currently. But also the Green Party manifesto, I don't agree entirely with. They do have some nutty ideas, but at least they're good ideas, as in they're positive ideas. You can have nutty ideas which damage the planet. I'm going to try to keep it clean, and hurt people, which is what the Tories do and what the UKIP have and all the far right parties have. Or you can have nutty ideas like the Green Party that will only help people if you implement them. Like universal basic income. I don't think it's a particularly good idea. The Green Party are big for it, but at least universal basic income can only help people. You know, it's not going to hurt anyone. I think it's not a very sensible idea, but you know, it's a positive thing. Anyway, I've lost track of where I was. Leader went first. Gave the medic the ability to. Oh yeah, the medic. Oh, what the hell? What did I do? I just drew a gas. hazard. So now it's the first turn again. I think it's the medic's turn. Yes. Okay. Medic goes first, I think. Actually, does the scout need any health? No, scout and the leader are both fully healed. I think I might just spend both my actions to heal myself. The medic healed themselves. Then it's the bodyguard's turn. Bodyguard could hang around here to see off this horror or rejoin the group. He's going to rejoin the group. And he's going to cross that rough terrain. And he's going to fail spectacularly and take another point of damage. Blow a neck. He has crossed it many times. He's tired, you know, he's running back and forth, fighting off monsters. He's going to slip up and hurt himself. Spectacularly in that case with a 1, but never mind. Now it's the scout's turn. Oh, I forgot. The scout has this Pathfinder ability, which is if you would place any tile, you may discard that tile and place the next tile from the stack instead. I could have used that instead of this. Idiot. Okay, remember that. That's a great ability. I'm going to remember that. Okay, so they're going to swim. That's 2 actions. And now it's the leader's turn. They're going to give an action to the medic to heal the bodyguard. And then they're going to use 2 actions to swim. And I hope I don't draw a hazard card that floods. Horror moves towards us. Hazard card. Gas! Okay, we're still gassy, but it's okay unless I draw a gas tile, which I think is likely. We're now on to the bodyguard. Bodyguard's first action is going to be... He's going to spend 2 action points to go into the flood. We're just all going to risk it. Swimming. We're swimming. Scout's action is going to be both actions to swim on this tile. Same with the leader. Leader's going to then spend... I don't know. Can they give a useful action? Yes, they're going to give an action to the scout to explore. Fantastic. It's a flood tile. Great. So when I flood again... well, at least it's consistent, you know. It's a plausible cave system where all the water's here. Oh dear. Then it's the medic's turn. Medic will spend 2 actions to swim. Yeah, that's it. Horror's going to move towards us. Ooh, actually, I'm going to use that ability, sorry, from the scout to discard that tile and use this tile, which is a cave-in tile. Which is slightly better. Slightly. It's... Well, I mean, I was asking for it, I suppose. So now I roll a die. And every cave-in tile with a number 6 on it, which we knew from last time. Ooh! So there's a cave-in. I cleared that cave-in, and now there's a cave-in again there. A cave-in here. And... there isn't a number 6 on the tile with the scout on. Phew! Survived! Nice. That again, lucky. Lucky. Whew. Okay. And now we're on to the leader's first turn. Leader is going to follow the scout or explore in the other direction. This is an interesting choice. Spiffing says, I think I've overexhausted the amount of images I can create of awesome wells holding a glass of champagne. Are you sure? Can you ever have a limit on the number of images of awesome wells holding a glass of champagne? Yeah, we're no longer gassy. I've got to explore, but do I follow the scout and explore, or do I go in a different direction? I think I will explore in a different direction, because I think I need to divide and conquer. Oh, it's just a nice friendly corner. That's fine. And I'll explore again. Gas! Luckily, the gas is not leaking currently, but I do need to get off that tile. I'm going to give an extra action to the scout, actually, is for them to explore what we've got. A nest. They're going to use their special ability to ignore that tile and draw another one. Ah, another one. I mean, I'm not planning to backtrack much, so that could be fine. Yeah, they explore. And now the medic. Medic is going to use an action, I think. Oh, maybe I should have given... yeah, they're going to let the bodyguards be damaged for now. They use 2 actions to swim there. Bodyguard is also going to use 2 actions to swim there. And we're back to the scout. Scout's going to use 2 actions to try to install a rope, because I think it might be useful. And they failed just with a 3. They needed a 4, 5, or 6 to put the rope there on this little cliff. Okay. Horror moves towards us. Then we draw a hazard card. What's it going to be? Gas! Bloody typical. Finally caught me, I suppose, yeah. Going to happen eventually. So, what happens with the gas? You take 2 damage. Ooh, luckily, the leader, who's on a gas tile, had full health, so they're not unconscious yet. This is not good. This is not good. Right, so... it's now the medic's turn first. The medic is going to use an action to heal the bodyguard. Then they're going to explore. Rough terrain, but it's a crossroads, so that gives us options for exploring further. Gokazok DK asks a good question, which is, what happens if they're unconscious? Well, if they're unconscious, they can't do anything. They just sit on their tile. And the object of the game is to get everybody, if possible, off the board. You can afford to lose a few people. You can leave some people behind, because in the multiplayer version of this game, it's it's a free for all. It's you can, as soon as you find the exit, you can leave and you're safe. You just can't take part in the game anymore. So if they're unconscious, they can't do anything. They're not dead, and they can be resuscitated by being healed. And the medic is the best person for healing. So it's not ideal. And the leader, who's the green person, who currently has only got 1 health left, is a useful character because they can give an action to another character, which has proven quite useful this game. Gokozok and DK says, can we sacrifice Martin for not giving Alex the trophy? Yes. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. I can't believe Martin still has that after 2 seasons, I think. Although I'm confused. I think maybe I have to go back a minute, because I feel like, didn't I win season 1 on the quiz? And then Alex... Martin won season 2? Maybe Martin won season 1. And then Alex got... and that's why he's got the trophy. And Alex won season 2, so he was owed the trophy. And now we've ended season 3, and Alex won again, and he's still owed the trophy. That must be it. I just have a feeling that at some point... Alex says, yes, all caps, I guess in reply to can we sacrifice Martin. Alex, can you remember, was it you or Martin? Somebody said that we'd each won a season, but we've only had 3 seasons, and you've been waiting to get the trophy since the beginning of season 3, so you must have won season 2, and if Martin had the trophy, he must have won season 1. So I've yet to win a season, right? Which is a bit of embarrassing. Right. I'm actually... where am I? The medic went first. They spent an action and they explored, didn't they? So they're on there, and they need to take a rough terrain test, which they failed. Spectacular. Ah, great. And now it's the bodyguard's turn. Well, the bodyguard's going to join the medic and fail his rough terrain test too, taking damage. And he's going to explore, because I need to get through this stack of tiles as fast as possible. Got another cave-in tile. Let's put it here. That was his 2 actions, wasn't it? Now the scout is going to try to put a rope in place again. Take the skill test. They failed again, so they're just going to stand there, throwing this grapple repeatedly up to the top of the cliff. And then it's the leader's turn, and the leader's got to get out of this thing. And they're going to... So 1 action to move out the gas. They're going to give an action to the medic to heal themselves. So they're going to bark an order at the medic and say, "Heal me!" And then they're going to explore. And hopefully... Oh, a nice friendly crossroads. Cool. Again, options. The map's getting a bit big now. Trying to stop these tiles piling up to each other. Let's move these cards out the way again. Nice. And that's the end of that turn. The horror's going to move. We draw a hazard card. What do we have? Horror! Great. So that means this horror moves again, which is terrible for me. And then I believe there are no more than 3 horrors at any one time. But I believe when you draw the horror card, they spawn. Yeah, if there are less than 3 horrors on all cave tiles, spawn a horror on the closest horror tile to a conscious caver. Okay, so you only spawn 1. The closest horror tile is this one here, this nest here. So there we go. Oh, we've had some comments. Let's have a look. Gokken says, Robin was winning a lot of the quizzes at the time, hence why people were saying that as a robot he had access to knowledge of the internet and thus knew all the answers already. Yes, that's how it started back in the day. Alex says, uh-oh, looks like someone didn't set the video source to loop in, obviously. Probably my fault. Yeah, it's definitely your fault, Alex. Completely your fault. Nothing to do with me not bothering to investigate how OBS works. Okay, we're on a new turn. I believe it's the bodyguard going first. Come on, people, we can do this. We've only got 7 turns left. We can do this. We can find our way out the cave. Bodyguard, there's a horror right behind us, and the bodyguard is there. So I think the bodyguard's going to have to kind of get the back of the group again. So he's going to explore. Going to explore. Oh, so many tiles. Come on. Oh, great. This takes 2 actions to move through. Brilliant. He'll... Can he... Can he explore from this? Might have to exert himself, I think. Tiles, types. Double check. Squeeze, yeah. Okay, you enter it by squeezing it, so I can't explore into it, actually. So I've revealed I'd have to spend another... Okay, that's fine, because I don't really want to move on to it. Anyway, let's just move back again into the rough terrain, which I fail and take another damage point from. Fantastic. Okay, time for the scout. Gokazokan says, you were too powerful, Robin, in the quizzes, that is. They had to disconnect you from the internet for the other seasons as they didn't stand a chance. That's very kind of you to say. I wish that were true. I wish I were that knowledgeable. Although, what you're saying is I'm not knowledgeable. I was just cheating. I'm still taking that as a compliment. So thank you. Right. So the scout is here. Ugh, they're going to have to try the rope again. Come on, 3rd time lucky. Yay! 3rd time they did do it. Woo! They are the masters. No, they're not. But they can eventually... They can get a rope up, so to speak. I feel like that should be a euphemism, but... Right, finally. Now it's the leader's turn. Leader's going to explore and hopefully get the exit tile at some point. Come on, come on, come on, come on. No, it's gas again. Oh dear. Are we still on the gas? What was the last tile I drew? It was a horror. Okay, we're not on the gas anymore. Phew. Explore again. Oh no, it's not a dead end either. It's a corner. All right, well let's put that nest here and ignore it, shall we? And I'm gonna have to go in this direction. The only way. I'm just gonna have to go in this direction. Oh dear. All right, leader's gonna give an action to somebody else. The medic? Yeah, give an action to the medic to heal the bodyguard. Gokazak DK says, so what does the rope do? Good question. The rope, as you can see, it's a rope over a little kind of cliff edge. So whenever you draw a tile like this one, which has a cliff edge, you can go down it, well, hey, in one direction, but you can't go back unless you have a rope like this. And that's what the rope does. It allows you to just move back and forth. And as you've noticed, you keep exploring and then you find yourself in a dead end, so then you have to backtrack. So having the rope there is a useful thing, I think. Alex says, just looked at the results from season 1. You trounced us, Robin. You won 10 out of 13 quizzes. I think disconnecting you was the right call. Wow, did I win? Wow. Wow, okay. Wow. So, how did Martin get the trophy? Did he win season 2? Because for the whole of season 3, we were saying he should send you the trophy, which means you must have won season 2. So if I won season 1 and you won season 2, Alex, why has Martin got the trophy at all? Alex says this is a good question. Right. Well, don't tell me Martin's had the trophy for 2 seasons and he never actually won. Gokazok and DK says the plot thickens. It does. It does. What's going on here? What's going on? All right. Never mind. Medic's turn. Medic is going to spend an action to fully heal the bodyguard. I think that's a useful thing to do. And then their second action, they're going to move 2 spaces here. They're going to avoid the gas, I think. Purely because the gas, if I draw a hazard card with gas on it, then if I'm a gas tile, they're guaranteed to take 2 points of damage, right? Whereas on a cave-in tile, even if I draw a cave-in tile, they'll only take 1 point of damage, and I have to roll a die with the number of the tile that they're standing on. So the odds are much lower with the cave-in. Right, now it's the bodyguard's turn. Bodyguard is going to move 2 spaces and join the leader to protect them from taking gas damage, because if they take any gas damage, they'll become unconscious. And oh, I started with the bodyguard. So the bodyguard can't do that. Wait a minute, what did the bodyguard do then on his turn? Huh, fine. Did I forget to use the bodyguard on his turn? No, he spent 2 actions to heal himself, didn't he? Didn't he? Oh, people, you gotta remind me. What did I do? The bodyguard should have gone first this turn. What did I do with the bodyguard? Because... oh, that's right. I explored here and then backtracked. That's right. That's right. So the bodyguard can't go and protect the leader. Let's hope I don't draw gas. But first, the horrors move, and of course they ignore all terrain problems. And then we draw a hazard card. Only 6 turns left. It's a cave-in! Well, that was... sorry, medic. Let's see which cave-in we get. 3. Please, please, please don't say... yep, there's a 3. I went to the one tile where there's a cave in. Let's have a look. When there's a cave in, you lose 3. I got that wrong. You lose 3 health. Ah, sodding idiot. Only got and knocked out the medic. I mean, I've done fairly well, I suppose, to make it this far. And blocked the path this direction. Alex says, so, Robin, we've hugely messed this up. I mean, well timed. I've messed up the game completely. Alex says, Martin won season 2. I won season 3. Martin won season 4. We're on season 5. Wow, okay. This is what happens when you don't take breaks between seasons and you just keep going, like we've been doing for the last few years. We're on season 5. Okay. Alex, whoa, okay. Luckily, you didn't make all those thumbnails yet with the saying season 4 and season 3. Oh my gosh. Well, what can I say? How we completely blurred that out. Things got a bit messy at the end of last year. Gokosak and DK says, I'm so glad to be here for the realization, lol. Yes, the moment of truth, the eureka moment. Gosh, yeah, it's quite embarrassing, isn't it? Yeah, like I say, last summer things got messy. Martin had a second child, moved to a new house, started a new job. My dad got really ill and then he died, and Alex was just busy being in Edinburgh. So the 3 of us just completely lost track of time. And apparently we skipped a whole season. No, we didn't skip a whole season, sorry. We forgot a whole season. So were we collectively, Alex, is that a does that count as a Mandela effect? That we all remembered there being 1 fewer season? Is that a thing? Did anybody on this live stream now notice that we forgot a season? Because no one ever told us, did they, Alex? Nobody ever commented that when we were, because we've been talking about, hey, it's season 3 for ages, and people haven't corrected us. So I think everybody suffered the same Mandela effect. They just got confused by the fact that we never took a break between seasons until now. Oh my gosh, we're on season 5. Wow. I guess that I suddenly feel a whole lot older, Alex. Alex says we should have probably realized, given our seasons are roughly 20 episodes and we're on episode 92. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, because then that would be 4 seasons, 80 episodes, and then we weirdly ended up extending it to 92. Well. Okay, gonna have to go review everything again. Anyway, sorry, I just did the cave in, which means the medic is unconscious, which is not good. And cave-ins can't be passed until they're cleared. So the medic is suddenly, currently unconscious, buried alive under this rubble. So, luckily, it's the scout's turn to go first. So the scout is going to use both their actions to dig the medic out, but they can't revive them yet. Then it's the leader's turn. The leader is going to give the scout another action to explore, because I think that's important. It's more gas. I think I'm just going to have to live with it. And they're going to move onto that. And then the leader's going to use... No... they've got 2 actions. They're going to explore. Let's find the exit. I'm going to revive the medic, I think, as soon as I can. Potential cave-in. Okay. So that's a wall. This is like a T-junction. So let's rotate it so that we can go off in either of these directions here. Well, I'm getting a bit sloppy here with my tile placement, aren't I? Oh, come on, go flat. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, you can't. Okay, fine. He's going to use a second action. Sorry, she's going to use a second action because the leader is a woman. Pretty sure it's a woman. To explore again. It's a tight squeeze, and I can't even move on to that tile. Okay, let's go north with that again. Gokka Zokon DK says, so is there no way for the medic to be unconscious or regain consciousness if you prefer? Yes, there is. I have to heal them. But healing takes 2 actions. So, and it takes actions to move. So I have to get to them. And I feel like with the monsters chasing us from this direction, I wanted to keep exploring in this direction with the leader. And I'm going to use the bodyguard to move 1, 2, and then use next turn, use 2 actions to revive the medic. That's my plan. Yeah, so the horrors keep chasing us. Like Marlon Brando. As in the horror. That's what my brain was thinking there. Floods! I think every tile that can be flooded is flooded, isn't it? Yeah. Oh well. I mean, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Then I need to move again. It's the leader's turn first. Leader is going to give an action to the bodyguard. If I give the bodyguard an extra action, and the bodyguard can heal for 2 and then do something with the 3rd action. No, I'm going to give it to the scout. I'm just going to keep exploring. Ooh, that was well timed with the water there. Oh, come on, tile. Sit properly. Sit properly. What's wrong with you? There we go. And then the leader herself is going to explore as well. More cave-in tiles. Not great. But it's all right. At least it connects. We've got a route going around, and then they'll explore again with their other action. More gas. Oh gosh, I don't like gas because gas is just perfectly suited to killing. Right, so the medic is unconscious still, and it's the bodyguard's turn. Gokozokon DK asks, is this on Tabletop Simulator by any chance? It is not Tabletop Simulator, it is Tabletopia, or Tabletopia.com. It's also an app on Steam, so you can get it. I think it's free on Steam. I think. I haven't got it. I'm using the web browser version, so you can use this. You can create an account for free. You can also play it for free. If somebody you know with an account creates a game, they can send you a link and you can join without having to create a Tabletopia account. Yeah, I recommend it. You can play it for free, but there's also the subscription level, which gives you access to more games, and some games are cheeky, a bit like Sub Terra, sadly. And Sub Terra, I can play this for free, but if I want to play other scenarios, I think, in this game, I have to have the subscription paid version. I used to have a subscription, actually. When the pandemic started, I started subscribing to Tabletopia. I was subscribed for 2 years, but I didn't play it because I kept forgetting, and just like it was surprisingly difficult, even in the pandemic, to find people who were free to play board games together very often. And, it was a monthly subscription. And basically, I paid for 2 years worth, and then I cancelled it because I was like, I'm not using this. And then I just, after cancelling it, I went back on it and I was like, yeah, this is kind of fun. And that's when I started live streaming on a weekly basis. So I've paid my dues. Sadly, it doesn't roll over. So the fact that I paid for a subscription for 2 years and didn't use it, €5 on Steam, apparently. That sounds quite nice. That's a really great price. Yeah, it's like £7 a month, I think, was the subscription, which is quite steep, I think. Even for something that's recreating and giving you access to loads of board games typically will cost about £30 on the cheaper end if they're like proper board games. The cheapest board games are normally about £10, right? £13 I think is standard now for the cheapest, smallest board games. But the most expensive board games can be £90 to £100, and Tabletopia gives you loads of them. So it's not a bad price if you're playing board games all the time. But I wasn't. Like I said, I was barely playing them at all. I think I used Tabletopia 4 or 5 times. As in, I played 4 or 5 games on Tabletopia in the 2 years that I was subscribed to it, which is ridiculous, right? So it's not like Netflix, where Netflix is twice the price, but getting a lot more out of Netflix than I am Tabletopia. Although now I'm using it every week. Wait. Anyway, what did I just do? The bodyguard, using both actions to resuscitate the medic. Yay! Oh. I believe they go up to just 1 health. Let's find out. Oh, somebody who's unconscious. Let's have a look. Explosives tokens. Oh, that's the engineer. Yes, if I had the engineer character, they would have the explosive ability to plant explosives. Professor Gueg23 redeemed Hydrate. Ah, thank you. I do need a drink, actually. I'm getting quite dry. Thank you, Professor Greg. Gokazok DK says, this game reminds me of Burgle Brothers, which I used to play with a friend sometimes. Might pick it up. Oh, I've never played Burgle Brothers. Is that like Mario, but criminal? Sorry, I'm currently just looking for the whole... What happens if you go unconscious? Let's set up. Base actions, hazards. Wait a minute. There's nothing about actually. Yeah, I think it is as simple as just they go back to when you revive someone, they start with the 1 health because that's what you're doing, which is crappy for 2 actions, Kokosaka DK says about the game Burgle Brothers, basically you're a criminal that's breaking into a building and has to find the vault, roll dice to open the vault and get out, all while security guards are walking around the place as well. That actually sounds great. That sounds like a really fun game. I want to try that. Is it useful training as well? Did it give you all the skills you need to become a professional burglar? You don't have to answer that, by the way. This is being recorded. Oh, where was I? Oh, that was it. The bodyguard had just resuscitated the medic. Presumably gave him mouth to mouth or something. I don't know. And now it's the scout's turn. The scout is going to explore the cave. What we got? A dead end. Just a normal dead end. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to go up here through this squeezy thing. Or I'm going to have to go all the way back and go here around this cave-in. Those are the only options available to me. Or here. Either backtrack or go up here. Right then, let's move these reference cards out the way again. I'm going to move back. Right, okay. The horrors move closer. Bodyguard's going to have to do some fighting, I think. Gokuzok DK elaborates upon Burgle Brothers, the game. Oh, and tiles are hidden unless you either step onto them or reveal them by being on an adjacent tile. Okay, so similar to this, where it's an invisible map that you discover and build as you play. I like that kind of thing. We played it on Tabletop Simulator. This game reminded me of Burgle Brothers. Yeah, Tabletop Simulator is great. I've got it. I haven't actually used it yet. I keep meaning to go on there and use it, partly to build my own games for play testing, and partly to see what other games have got on there. I know they've got some games, like they've got a lot of games which have been built by fans, kind of unofficial versions of board games, and then they've got official versions of board games on there as well, haven't they? It's interesting but I think because it was quite an early one, between Tabletop Simulator and Tabletopia, and board games now actually making digital versions, official digital versions of themselves, there's now a myriad of ways to get digital simulations of board games. It's quite funny. I need to draw a hazard card. Crap. It's a flood card! And there's a flood. Luckily I moved off that tile, eh? And no one else was on a water tile, so they didn't take damage. Good stuff, eh? So now it's the medic's turn. The unconscious, the newly revived medic is suddenly like, oh, I can do stuff. And they need to get away from the horror, but I think they also need to heal themselves, so they're going to spend their turn healing. Then it's the bodyguard's turn. The bodyguard is going to take one action to move here on this adjacent tile, and then the second action to repel, whatever that means, the monster, the horror. I think he's just shot it in the face. He's killed it. I like to think he's killing these things. The leader is not going next. The scout is going next. The scout is going to move once, and they're going to exert themselves to have the extra action to move into that tile, and they're going to pass the exertion. They're a nimble scout. They can squeeze through this tile, no problem at all. And then the leader is going to give an action to the scout to explore. I'm mad keen on exploring now. Oh, it's another water tile. I don't know, but at least it's a crossroads, gives us space to explore. And then they're going to use their two actions. They're going to use their two actions to run. Oh, no, they're not, because they can't squeeze into that without spending two actions. So they're just going to move here to this potential cave-in tile. There's so many dangers. And now this horror is going to move towards them. And it's a cave-in! Of course it is. Just in time to knock out the leader. Let's see, what tiles get caved in? 6. Any tile with a 6 on it. Again, I feel like that's happened all 3 times. This tile does not have a 6 on it, so the leader's fine. Woo! So is the one with the medic on. That's fine. Ah, this one, though, does cave in. Any other tiles? Okay, there's number 6 on them. No. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, new turn. New turn. Bodyguard goes first. Bodyguard is going to move. He's not going to run. Going to move. Then the scout. Oh, sorry. The scout explored actually. And the scout's going to explore again. No, they're going to reveal, I think. Another water tile. This is risky. Let's put it in that direction. Hoping to get, good tiles going in this way, so I can move this map closer to all the stuff that I'm trying to pick up over here all the time. And then they're going to explore, I think. It's a cave-in. Okay, it's not ideal, but it's a thing. And then the leader is going to use 2 actions to squeeze into this tight space here, because they have to. And then they're going to give another action to the medic, who's going to move. And then they're going to... The medic himself is going to move twice. And I believe that's it, because we're back to the bodyguard. Yep. So the horror's going to chase them. And then we're going to draw a hazard card. Ooh, we're getting close to the bottom of the deck. Another cave-in! Knew that happened all at once eventually. 4. So every tile with the number 4 on. This tile doesn't have the number 4. Fantastic. Neither does this tile. It's got number 6 and number 1. Fantastic. Oh. Oh. Isn't there a... There is meant to be a cave tile on there. It's meant to be on top of it. It's a bit weird. Don't know if you could see that, but that cave-in tile somehow passed through the map. A bit weird. Any other cave-in tiles? That's got a number 4 on. So that caves in. So's that, and so's that. So there's been a massive cave-in on this side. All those tremors, I guess. Eventually... Okay, that's a bit weird. Passing through the map there. Okay. Sorry, I missed a comment from Gokozok and DK talking about Tabletop Simulator, saying you can play basically anything on Tabletop Simulator. People can make their own games and upload them to Steam Workshop. Many have taken existing games and scripted them so they're semi-automatic, like ending a turn, etc. Yes, and it's really good. My only complaint about Tabletopia, which is what I'm playing now, is that it is literally a simulation of the board game itself. And although when you're playing with other people, there is a turn structure, so you can end turns and move on to the next player. That's not a problem. It's not quite it's not quite as satisfying. Some games are really tricky to play on Tabletopia because they're board games and they're meant to be physical pieces that you're interacting with, and the digital physics don't quite work. This is one of the better examples. For example, one thing I haven't said is that these tiles, when I place them, they snap to this grid, so I'm not having to faff about very much with the tiles. The physics of this are very good. Some games, they're a mess, and the physics are crazy, and you're having to, like, anyone who watched my Coalitions game, video from the other week, where I was playing the game where you fight Napoleon, that was a simulation of the real components being moved around, and the physics were just a bit messy, and it was very laborious, and I hope it wasn't too boring to watch. So yeah, Tabletop Simulator is better for that, I think, where people have created digital versions of the board games in terms of physical pieces, but they've programmed it so it does a lot of the stuff for you, and you don't have to waste time faffing about moving things. Okay, so on that note, we've had the cave in. It's time for the next turn. And we're down to the scout going first. Now the scout is going to explore. What have we got? Another cave-in tile. Not ideal. Sorry, they're going to search, and then they're going to explore. Another one of these. All right, well, it's kinder than a tile that can be dangerous, so... Then we go to the leader. The leader is going to run to join the scout and then give the scout an action, I think, to explore again. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Nice little T-junction. Nice. Not going to bother with the rope anymore until I need it, I think. Not going to... let's just move on. Let's go forward. Then it's the medic's turn. Medic's going to move, use their special move. Oh no, they're going to spend 2 actions to squeeze through this. Sorry, I keep forgetting that's a squeezy thing. They're going to exert themselves, I think, to move an extra tile, and they're going to flip, and they've passed the test, so they don't lose any health. Bodyguard is going to also exert themselves, I think, and he lost some health. He exerted himself too much and hurt himself, but he's got the health to deal with it. He's fine. And now we're back to the scouts, so it's the turn of the horror. Horror's inexorably advancing. Now we draw the penultimate card from the hazard deck. It's the horror turn. Great. So this horror moves 1 closer, and then we spawn a horror in the nearest nest, which is this thing here. Oh, that's... Did anybody see that? Look, it's kind of like half in, half out. Okay, never mind. Just remember that token's there. There we go. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So this is the final card of the deck, which actually, the game doesn't end when I draw that card, but what happens instead is that instead of hazards, drawing a card, at the end of every turn, I have to roll the die for everybody, and if they fail the tests, you know, if they roll 1, 2, or 3, they take a point of damage, and obviously that means they're, I guess it's the idea that they're running out of air or something. I don't think, I don't. It's a necessary mechanic to keep the game going. Right. We're back to the leader being the first player. So the leader is going to move and explore. Oh, getting to the bottom of the deck now of tiles. But it's a nest. Dead end nest. Great. So that's it. That's their turn. They're going to give an action to the scout to explore. Another dead end. The scout is going to use their third and final ability to ignore a tile and draw a new one on this one, so we don't have a dead end. It's a flood tile, but at least the path continues. Spiffing says, I watched a speedrun of Cluedo the other day, and the record is like half a second. It just involves clicking as fast as you can. What? On Tabletop Simulator? Is that even a thing? There's a digital version of Cluedo, and you just, how can you win it? How can you've got to gather clues, mate, and you've got to move to the, I don't understand how that's a thing. That doesn't make sense. Does not compute. You're going to have to show me that sometime. I'm going to have to check that out. Is that on Tabletop Simulator? Is that like an app version of Cluedo? Please do let me know. I like Cluedo. Last game I had, I think, was also the best game I ever had. Played with my entire family, and this is back in the late noughties when my entire family was still at home because I've got a few siblings. And that was a fantastic game. That was really good. But then after that, I still got Cluedo, but, you know, the components get damaged, and there's a few cards which are obvious damage on them, and you're like, well, I know that's Mrs. Peacock, you know. Alex asks Spiffing for Cluedo, do they just immediately randomly guess the outcome? And Spiffing says, pretty much, yeah. You just accuse as quickly as you can and hope for the best. I mean, sure. It's got to happen. Statistically, they've got to be right eventually. Sorry, we're on to the medic's turn. The medic is going to... Oh, just realised. Ooh, medic's going to explore. Ah, well, that's awkward. That just leads nowhere. I was hoping to connect these two, but no. Oh, in that case, with their second action, they're going to move, but they're going to sprint, using the medic's special ability to sprint, so they're going to move 2 tiles for 1 action. Then the bodyguard is going to move with them, and I think stay with them, which is, you can argue, is a bit of a waste, but unless they exert themselves to heal themselves, which I think they'll do. No, to heal... Oh! I pressed the button, sorry. They're going to exert themselves to heal the medic. So they're going to take that third action. And they passed. So the act of healing the medic, they did not hurt themselves. Good. Glad to hear it. So now we get to the scout. The scout's definitely going to explore. Oh, we've only got 6 tiles left. Another T-junction. But we're close, people. We're very close to the... We're going to find the exit soon. Look, how many? There are only 5 tiles left. Right, that was... they're going to explore again. Come on, come on, come on, come on. We can do this. It's the exit! It's the exit! It's the exit, it's right there! I did it! We found the exit, people! And the scout is on it. The scout is safe. Spiffing says, we got there. Yes, finally. You're like, after 3 hours, he's finally done it. Look at that. Scout, of course, hopefully the scout has yelled behind them, "I found it!" Or radioed, if they've got radio signal, some kind of clue. Look, it's a nice, easy route to the exit. Ah! And now the horrors move. Oh, look how far away they are. I think I can do this. I think I can do this in time. And then we draw the final hazard card, which is a tremor. So the scout has made it to the exit. The scout is safe. So we just roll a die during a tremor, like earthquake, for each of the other characters to see if they take any damage. The leader gets +1 to their dice roll, which doesn't matter because they rolled a 1. Yeah, idiot. So they take a damage, which is not ideal. And got 1 health left. The bodyguard passes with flying colors, a full 6. He's so tough. He's like fully prepared for it. And oh, whoops. The medic doesn't have to roll because the bodyguard's special ability means other caves on your tile don't lose health from floods, gas, cave-ins, or tremors. So that's fine. Gokasokon DK says, "Yay!" Little celebration emoji. And Alexing says, "Nice one." Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. We have got what have we got? What was I talking about? What was I doing? I just forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah. So you see here, there's the bottom of the deck, this lovely broken flashlight card. That means no more hazard decks. Instead, I just roll the die at the end of each turn and take damage if I fail the test. Spiffing has the hype emoji, nice. So hopefully the leader, who's only got 1 health left, won't kill themselves accidentally at the end. Okay, medic's turn. Medic is going to use their move ability to move 2 spaces. And then move again. Yeah, they're going to move 4 spaces in 2 actions. But they're going to wait because I think the medic needs to be able to heal people. So then we go to the bodyguard. The bodyguard is going to run. No, he's going to move twice because I don't want the bodyguard to end up on the water tile. Oh no, the water tile is not going to flood anymore. Just realised. Yeah, he's going to run. What am I talking about? There's no more hazard cards to draw. And he's got plenty of health left. And the leader is going to run as well, spend 2 actions to move 3 tiles, and then give another action to the medic to heal them. Heal me! So now everyone's got at least 2 health, which is good. So, end of the turn. They have to roll. Does the leader take damage from exhaustion? No! Does the medic take damage from exhaustion? Yes. Decisively. Very much so. They're all a 1. Does the bodyguard take damage from exhaustion? No. Very much. They're fine. Just the medic. They ran too fast. The medic got tired and then was forced to heal. So now the horrors move closer, but they're not fast enough. And yeah. So back to the beginning. It's the bodyguard going first. Is the bodyguard just going to run off the board? Yeah, I think so. Why not? 1 move, 2 moves. They're at the exit. Bodyguard's safe. And then the leader goes next. They're going to spend an action. They're going to give an action, sorry, to the medic to make them move off. Like a good leader, they're going to be the last person in the cave. Make sure everyone else is out safe. And then the leader moves on to the final space. And we're free. We're home free. Everyone's safe. Everyone made it. Not going to lie. This is the first time I've played this game out of 3 or 4 games. This is my 4th, yeah. My 4th time playing this. And the first time everyone's made it out. Every other time I've played this, someone's been left behind. Not always unconscious either. Sometimes they just get left behind. It's like, screw you. Like, gonna leave you. You know, people split up and they end up on the other, like down here, and the exit's up here, and it's like, sorry, we're gonna leave you alone, and there's no way you can make it in time. Yeah. We did it. No. Does that mean Martin didn't get sacrificed? No, he didn't. Martin did not get sacrificed. Martin's safe. Everyone's safe. We're all safe. We made it out. Ah, thank you everyone for enduring that surprisingly lengthy trip through the caves. That was it's quite a nice map, isn't it? It's mostly okay. There's a few clunky dead ends like here, you know, just kind of track just ends, but at least it's narrowing there, so you can imagine it kind of like narrows into nothing. That's plausible. Otherwise, the route is kind of, you know, logical. A few dead ends, but they're actually meant to be dead ends, and yeah, awkward cut off here. Yeah, that's a bit clunky. So not ideal. This one here as well, just corner into nothingness. But other and here too. But yeah, pretty decent map, I think. Ties together quite nicely. I enjoyed that. Thank you. Spiffing says that was fun. Would play that if given the chance. Doesn't seem too hard to get to know. It isn't. It's a really easy game to play. It's really easy to learn. It's a nice and efficient game. Goes along quite quickly. And when you're playing with friends, it's a load of fun. Especially when friends kind of start betraying each other. You're not meant to betray each other, but there's definitely... That went well because I was playing very much cohesively as a team, and everybody was doing what they needed to do to help everybody else, and we were working together and sticking together. But I guarantee you, if you play it, particularly with the full complement of players, which I think is 5 or 6, like I said, we played a game where there were 8 people, which is more than you're supposed to play with, and everyone just starts doing their own thing, and like, I'm going to go in this direction and ignore all the rest of you, and then you end up stranded on your own, and you're like, ah, I should turn back. Please help me. And the rest of the group is like, no, you went off on your own. We're not going to help you. That kind of stuff. Gokozak and DK says, cough, Burgle Brothers next time. Cough. Okay, yeah, I'll have a look into to see if I can find Burgle Brothers. Just Alex says, yeah, that would definitely be me going off in the wrong direction. Yes. And of course, sometimes the medic just refuses to heal. They're like, no, I want to get out. I'm going to keep searching. And it's like, no, you're the medic. You're meant to heal. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. We'll leave that there, and yeah, thanks again. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed that. You kept me company. I hope you had as much fun watching it as I did playing it, and yeah, it was nice to return to this game. And I would recommend it to anybody, especially if you need a cooperative game. This is a very good, easy to learn one that's fun to play. You can play it online for free, like I said, on Tabletopia, like I just did, or you know, it's actually not that expensive. It's worth buying. I'd recommend it. So yeah, thank you all so much for keeping me company. I will see you next time, probably next week. Bye for now.